Hello everyone and all the IB candidates out there who are taking IB chemistry subject. Welcome back to my channel, Study with me. Today I'm going to talk about chemistry paper 2, time zone 1, higher level, May 2021. Before I start, I would like to emphasize some stuff you need to know about answering paper 2. For this exam, you have only 2 hours 15 minutes to complete 90 marks. It means 1 point equals to 1.5 minutes. However, it is always recommended to have few minutes like 10 minutes to proofread your answer. The question is how to manage your time. You first need to understand the question. How? Make sure you understand the common terms. Second, you need to highlight and pay attention to the keywords, as this is the main points of the question. Finally, I hope those small tips I mentioned can help you to boost your score. And let's get started. Iron may be extracted from iron 2 sulfide, FeS. Outline means give a brief account of summary. It's very brief. Why metals like iron can conduct electricity? Because it has delocalized C of electron. Justify. Give valid reasons. Why sulfur is classified as non-metal by giving to its chemical properties. When you talk about chemical properties, you shouldn't mention boiling points, melting points. Chemical properties of non-metal, the first one forms acidic oxide, forms covalent bond. Anions. You can choose 2 of these 3. Sketch the first 8 successive ionization energy of sulfur. Sulfur has 16 electrons. So 2, 8, and 6. Valence electron is 6 on the last shell and 8 on the second shells. 8 successive ionization energies. Ionization energies, that energy is required to remove the electrons. First 8, it means we need to take 2 from this. 6 electron on the last shells will be easier, but for the second one will be a little bit difficult because it requires energy as the ionic radius is smaller. So this 6 belong to this and 2 from this. So when there is no more shells on this, because 6 electron already lost, so the radius becomes smaller. Therefore, it's difficult to remove 2 electrons from this shell. So to draw this 8 successive ionization energy, there will be small gap between this. But for 7, it will be higher because difficult to remove this electron. The first from here and the second one from here. But this 6 comes from this. That's why it's easier to remove this, and the gaps between the electrons are small. But the gap between 6 and 7 is very big because it's difficult to remove the electron from the second shells. Iron 2 sulfide FeS is ionically bonded. Describe the bonding in this type of solid. Give a detailed account. Fe2 plus and S2 minus. So there is electrostatic attraction between oppositely charged ion. State, a technique. State, a specific name, value, a brief answer without explanation or calculation. Very simple answer. Could be used to determine the crystal structure. It's only X-ray crystallography. Next question, state. Again, very brief answer. The full electron configuration of the sulfide ion. Because it's ion, it's -2. So number the electron now becomes 18. The full electron configuration becomes 1s2. Outline. In terms of their electronic structure, why the ionic radius of the sulfide ion is greater than that of the oxide ion. Outline. Give a brief account of summary. Sulfide ion is S2 minus, oxide ion is O2 minus. So 18 and 8. Of course, the atomic radius is bigger for this one compared to this one. Therefore, why the ionic radius of the sulfide ion is greater? It's because of valence electron further from the nucleus, or it has extra electron. You can choose this or this. Suggest. Propose a solution, hypothesis, or other possible answer. Why chemists find it convenient to classify bonding into ionic, covalent, and metallic? Why do we need to classify this to be 3? When we talk about some properties of ionic, covalent, metallic, like boiling point, melting point, so this helps the chemist to check the properties of different compounds. Allows them to explain the properties of different compounds, or enables them, which is scientists, to make prediction if ionic bond has higher melting point compared to covalent bond. The first step in the extraction of iron from iron to sulfide is to roast it in air to form iron 3 oxide and sulfur oxide. Write the equation. Very direct. Iron 2, it means Fe2 plus. Sulfide S2 minus. FeS is to roast it in air plus oxygen. Produce iron 3 oxide, Fe3 plus, O2 minus. Go down here and here. Fe2, O3 plus sulfur dioxide, SO2. It's not balanced. Fe2, here is 2, S2, and here is 1. O, it's here 4 plus 3, 7 divided by 2. Or we can make it 4, and here is 7, and here is 2, and here is 4. Deduce. Reach a conclusion from the information given. The change in the oxidation state of sulfur. So between FeS and SO2. Remember, coefficient doesn't give an effect. Here is -4 because O is -2 times 2 -4 plus 4 needs to be 0. It has no charge here. S is -2. Fe is +2. So it's -2, 2 plus 4. So from -2, 2 plus 4. Suggest solution or possible answer. Why this process might raise environmental Why this process might raise environmental concern. Anything that can cause any environmental problem? Yes, SO2. O2 causes acid rain. Explain why the addition of small amounts of carbon to iron makes the metal harder. Explain. Give detailed account including reasons or causes. Disrupts the regular arrangement of iron atoms. Why? Prevents layers or atoms sliding over each other. Number 2. Iron 2 sulfide reacts with hydrochloric acid to form hydrogen sulfide, H2S. Draw the Lewis electron dot structure of hydrogen sulfide. S will be in the middle with H, as it has 6 valence electron and H is 1. Predict the shape of the hydrogen sulfide molecule. It has 4 domains, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 2 lone pair. Therefore, the shape, it's bent. If it has no lone pair, it's tetrahedral. In aqueous solution, hydrogen sulfide acts as an acid. State, brief answer, the formula of its conjugate base. Acid, it means donor proton or loose proton. So when acid hydrogen sulfide loose protons, it becomes HS minus, because H2S lose one H, HS minus. This is the conjugate base of hydrogen sulfide. Saturated aqueous hydrogen sulfide has a concentration of 0.1 mole decimeter cube and a pH of 4. Demonstrate whether it is a strong or weak acid. pH 4, H plus is 10 to the power negative 4. So it's very, very small compared to 0.1. So this hydrogen sulfide is a weak acid and is partially dissociated. Calculate the hydrogen ion concentration in saturated aqueous hydrogen sulfide. Thus, for the hydroxide ion, so it's 10 to the power negative 14 divided 10 to the power negative 4. 4 is 10 to the power negative 10. A gaseous sample of nitrogen contaminated only with hydrogen sulfide was reacted with excess sodium hydroxide solution at constant temperature. The volume of the gas changed from 550 centimeter cube to 525 centimeter cube. Determine the only possible answer, the mole percentage of hydrogen sulfide in the sample, stating one assumption you made. So to calculate the mole percentage, how many centimeter cube that is changed, which is 25 out of 550, how many percent? It's 4.5%. Assumption, both gases behave as ideal gas because it still state as a gas. Magnetic Fe3O4 is another ore of iron that contains both Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. Deduce the ratio Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus in Fe3O4. In the ore of iron, the ratio of Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus, it's 1 and 2. Iron exists as several isotopes. State the type of spectroscopy. State, brief answer, spectroscopy. MS or mass spectroscopy. MS state, value, the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in each species. 26, neutron 54 minus 26, which is 28, electron also 26. 26, 56, 3 plus, protons will be the same, 26, neutron 30, 56 minus 26, electron, because of 3 plus, 26 minus 3, 23. Iron has a relatively small specific heat capacity. The temperature of a 50-gram sample rises by 44.4 degrees Celsius when it absorbs 1 kilojoule of heat energy. Here is joule, but here is 1 kilojoule. 4 is 1000 joule. Determine only one possible answer. Specific heat capacity, Q mc delta T. Section 1 as usually contains all the formula. M is 50 gram. Q is 1000 joule times C times 44.4 degrees Celsius. Because it rises, it directly mentions the difference of temperature. So C would be 1000 joule divided 50 times 44.4, 0.45 joule per gallon Kelvin. Deduce. Reach a conclusion from the information given from the data booklet, section 24. The equation and the cell potential of the spontaneous reaction. Fe2 plus Fe and Fe3 plus Fe2 plus positive 0.77. Negative 0.45, it's more reactive. Therefore, it's oxidation. You need to flip this because it needs to lose the electron. All right, here is 2 electron, here is 1 electron. We need to make it the same, but multiply this one, and this one is also 2. So multiply everything here by 2. Therefore, it's 2, and here is also 2, and here is also 2. 2 electron, 2 electron. You eliminate this, and you add them together. 2 Fe3 plus, here, plus Fe, here, 3 Fe2 plus, 2 from here, 1 from here. This is the answer. For cell potential, because you flip this, it becomes plus, so plus 0.45 plus 0.77, it's plus 1.22 volt. The figure shows an apparatus that could be used to electroplate iron with zinc. Iron with zinc. Label the figure the required substance. You just need to label this 1 to 3. Okay, Fe and Zn. Zn is more reactive. Thus, Zn is oxidation, Fe is reduction. Negative is a cathode, and positive is the anode. Its electroplate is electrolysis. And for the electrolysis, the same actually for the voltaic cells. If it's cathode, cat red reduction, so iron. So here is iron. And this one, you can use any aqueous zinc salt, and anode will be zinc. Outline why, unlike typical transition metals, zinc compounds are not colored. If zinc are not colored, very typical question for the transition metal, because Zn2 plus has a full D shell. Transition metals like iron can form complex ion. Discuss. Offered, considered, and balanced a review that includes arguments, facts, or hypotheses. The bonding between transition metals and their ligands. So discuss about the bond between transition metals and ligands in terms of acid-base theory. You need to talk based on the acid-base theory. When you talk about acid-base theory and ligands, as you know, ligands gives pair of electrons to the transition metals. So giving pairs of electron is Lewis acid and base. Ligands donates pairs of electron to metal ions. That's the bond between transition metals and their ligands. And for acid-base theory, base and metals are Lewis acid. Hydrogen peroxide can react with methane and oxygen to form methanol. This reaction can occur below 50 degrees Celsius if a gold nanoparticles catalyst is used. The diagram shows the Maxwell-Boltzmann curve for the uncatalyzed reaction. Draw a distribution curve. You need to draw a curve at lower temperature and also show on the diagram how the addition of catalyst enables the reaction to take place more rapidly than at T1. So when it's lower temperature, it should be right here. It's T1 because more particles have lower energy. That's why it has higher prick and on the left side. And you also need to show on the diagram how the addition of a catalyst enabled the reaction to take place. So here is the catalyst. EA, because it has more energy as it is catalyst. That's why it's in this area. The hydrogen peroxide could cause further oxidation of methanol, CH3OH. Suggests purpose of a solution, hypothesis, or other possible answer. Possible oxidation product, CH3OH. Remember about primary, secondary, and tertiary. Tertiary cannot be oxidized. Secondary should be oxidized to be ketone. And for primary becomes aldehyde or carboxylic acid. Possible oxidation product, it could be methanol or methanoic acid. Methanol is usually manufactured from methane in a two-stage process. Determine the overall equation for the production of the methanol. CO on the left side here can be eliminated by CO on the right side here. There are 2 H2 here and 3 H2 here. So it's finished this one and this one left one. Therefore, the overall equation, H2 gas. Eight grams of methane is completely converted to methanol. Calculate to 3 significant figures the final volume of hydrogen and STP in decimeter cube. Use section 2 and 6 of the data booklet. This is about the molar volume because of STP, which is 22.7 decimeter cube per mole. And when you see 8 grams of methane, methane is CH4 and there is a mass, we can directly calculate mole. 8 divided by molar mass of CH4 is 16.05, which is 0.498 mole. And to calculate volume, N times Vm, we know this is 22.7, but for mole of hydrogen, if we look at to this equation, the coefficient of hydrogen and methane are the same. Therefore, mole should be also the same, 0.498, which is 11.3 decimeter cube. Consider the first stage of the reaction. Determine only one possible answer. The enthalpy change delta H in kilojoule. Use section 11 of data booklet. Bond enthalpy of CO is 1077 kilojoule per mole. The bond enthalpy is an average bond enthalpy. How to use this? For example, if CH, C and H is 414. Thus, I'm just going to write the answer. You guys can double check the number using the data booklet. First, we need to draw the Lewis structure of this CH4. Do not forget the coefficient because it takes an account. 4CH, CH, 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 plus 2OH, OH, OH, CO, plus 3HH. 4 times 414 plus 2 times 463 CO 1077 plus 3 436. If you add this, it's 2582, and this one 2385. To calculate the enthalpy change using the bond enthalpy, it's bonds broken minus bonds formed. Therefore 2582 minus 2385 is plus 197 kilojoule. State one reason why you would expect the value of delta H calculated from the delta HF values given in section 12 of the data booklet to differ from your answer to D1. Because bond energies are average values. State the expression for Kc for this stage of the reaction. Kc is the product divided by reactant. So COH2. So COH2 to the power 3 because the coefficient is 3 and it needs to be times. CH4 and H2O. The coefficient is 1. So simply put it here, CH4, H2O. State and explain the effect of increasing temperature on the value of Kc. Brief answer, reasons and causes. It's plus 17. It's endothermic, therefore goes right here. It's endothermic. In the temperature, of course, Kc increases, and explain the effects. So causes and forward reaction. Here it's forward reaction. Now consider the second stage of the reaction, CO2H2 CH3OH, negative 129 kilojoule. The equilibrium constant Kc has a value of 1.01 at 298 Kelvin. Calculate delta G standard in kilojoule per mole for this reaction. Use section 1 and 2 formula, which is delta G standard RT ln Kc. For R is 8.31 joule per k mole. You can get from these sections. And T is 298 K. Ln Kc is 101. Is 24.6 joule per mole. But the question is kilojoule per mole. Be careful. Negative 0.0246 kilojoule per mole. Calculate the value for the entropy change delta S standard in JK mole at 298 Kelvin. Use your answer to E1, this one, and section 1 of the data booklet, which is the formula delta G, delta H, T, delta S. If you did not get the answer of this, you can use negative 1 kilojoule. Delta H is negative 129. You can check from this again, negative 129. This in kilojoule and in kilojoule as well. T is 298 Kelvin. And delta S is the question. So to find delta S, negative 129 plus 0.0246, because this is kilojoule and the question is in joule. Kilojoule to joule divided by 298, which is negative 433 joule per mole. Justify the sign of delta S with reference to the equation. Justify. Give valid reason or evidence to support an answer or conclusion. To just explain why the answer is negative sign, because CO plus 2H2 3OH liquid. So there's two gas here, and here is no gas, so 0. So the product has no gas. Therefore, the entropy is negative sign. As fewer moles of gas and product. If the moles of gas and product is bigger compared to the reactant, therefore the delta S will be positive sign. Predict, giving a reason, how a change in temperature from 298 Kelvin to 273 Kelvin would affect the spontaneity of the reaction. Predict whether it is spontaneous or not. When it's 298 Kelvin decreases to 273 Kelvin, of course the reaction is more spontaneous as the temperature decreases. Delta G becomes more negative because T delta S increases. You don't need to write down here because this one is enough.